Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back to the channel. Today I have an interesting video because in fact the following footage you're about to see I was not anticipating on sharing with everyone, but it was so good that I had to share it with you. It is on F1 2020 and we are driving in Sergio Perez's Racing Point car. Of course, in the 2020 season he was still at Racing Point before his move to Red Bull was announced in the winter. So today we are going to take a look at my kind of training video. I was just messing around on F1 2020 playing a little training game, so to say, and then the race turned out to be an exciting one. So diving in today, we are heading into Australia in the rain. It is pouring rain here at the start, as you see here. 5 red lights and away we go with a splendid start against the AI. We started around P12, I believe, so it was a bit of traffic to navigate around. All this spray ahead of us, hard to navigate, and then boom, we crash into Sebastian Vettel, right into the rear of him. We lose a bit of the front wing. There is chaos everywhere. Sebastian Vettel causing a traffic jam, and I believe that brought out the safety car for the first time on the race. Really, from the get-go, we took wing damage. We slammed right into Sebastian Vettel, as you see here. Part of the end plate on the left side just flies off, gets stuck in the car, I think, and then Sebastian Vettel gets shunted off to the side, stuck in traffic. But yeah, we lost the front wing, but it was perfect timing because the safety car was there to help us out. We quickly dip into the pit lane to switch our tires and the front wing. Of course, the front wing damage is quite intense, and if it's in the rain, we don't want to be losing a lot of that downforce. So I decided to pit early in lap 2, so as soon as the lap ended, getting a new set of wings, a new set of tires, staying on the wets, by the way, because there was some weather evolution going on. You'll see later on in the video, but a bit of a slow pit stop, I must say, like 8.9 seconds, 9 seconds, but that was okay because the safety car was dragging everyone behind. Now here we go for the restart, and this was the problem. My tires got cold really quickly, and at the restart I just lost traction to the ground, and there was no way I could keep up. And then there goes Ocon just ahead of us. He also had wing damage and he came in with us, but he didn't keep that lead for long as we overtake him to regain P19, sorry, from P20. Kind of reminiscent of Sergio Perez's Bahrain Grand Prix in the 2020 season, right, where he wove through traffic and got P1 by the end. Will we get P1? You'll have to wait and see until the end of the video. But another move done on Latifi there in the Williams, and now we're up to P18. Weaving through traffic. Next up, I believe, is the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi, so we're trying to catch up to him as well. The rain was quite intense, so the asphalt, or I don't know, the track was very slippery, and it was all about trying to make sure we don't lose the rear end, don't get a lot of wheel spin causing us to lose time. I was running on excess fuel as well. I think I went 3 plus 3 laps of fuel because I accidentally pressed start before I could adjust the fuel. So yeah, this is where we are at. Using a lot of rich, by the way. I was alternating between lean on the corners, rich on the straights, trying to catch up with everyone. And you can see here, trying to make the most out of this move as we go on the inside of Giovinazzi, mounting the curb and making the move stick. It was a brilliant move. Here's a replay, just in right before the turn and get the overtake done. Beautiful. I actually think that was George Russell for a moment. I don't think that was an Alfa Romeo. Anyway, Giovinazzi is next, I believe. Is this an Alfa Romeo? It does seem like it. Yes, I think we just overtook George Russell. Now it is the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi. Again, similar style, up the inside and easily taken. Next up is a group of cars up ahead. 4 of them. Leader is Kimi Raikkonen. Just behind him is Kvyat, and then I believe is Carlos Sainz or Lando Norris, and I have no idea who's just ahead of me. This was like a couple days ago, so my memory is kind of hazy, but here's a cockpit view as we go up the inside of the Haas. I believe that was Magnussen. Doing it nicely on the inside again, like we always do. Actually, that was Grosjean, number 8. Yeah, up the inside of Grosjean, mounting the curb a little, but not losing the control of the car, which is splendid. Next up is Sebastian Vettel, who we accidentally bumped into at the early stages of the race. So right behind him, trying to make sure we catch up to him. As you can see, using overtake, using rich to the best of our ability. But you can also notice that the rain has slowly stopped. We don't see as much spray anymore on the track coming from the rear of the cars. Here is Carlos Sainz though up ahead because he encounters a mechanical failure. The car just gives up. There's a lot more steam slash smoke coming out of that car. You can see mixed in with the spray. He is slowing down. The yellow flag is being shown, and he is pretty much done for the race. He pulls up at the next runoff area and parks the car to retire. But sadly, this did not trigger anything. There was no VSC, no safety car. We just kept driving. So this was optimal time for the change. Everyone decided to change at the same time. We are all rushing in because it is time to move from the wets to the inters. The track had dried up enough for the intermediate tire to be the optimal tire for the remainder of the race. Now, if that is the case, we will have to see again because the weather does change a lot. I believe Lance Stroll just got his service. That's why the pit crew was kind of everywhere. But we do get a solid time. I think it was like 4 seconds. We come out right behind a bit of traffic. But it wasn't a lot of traffic. We catch up with Antonio Giovinazzi quickly, who got in front of us. I guess he got a better pit stop. And we get the move done. Just ahead of him. That was Kimi Räikkönen. I think Antonio Giovinazzi is way behind us, but yeah, move on. Kimi Räikkönen's done. Up the start-finish straight, and we keep moving up. I believe we are in P16 now. We are also looking at the car of Vettel. Up the inside of the Ferrari of Vettel, easily taken. Thank you very much, and off we go. Next up is the Haas of Magnussen. Of course, Grosjean was the earlier Haas we overtook, so this time we are fighting for that position against Magnussen. He has some pace, but I think the racing point is just a tiny bit faster. A little bit of slipstream effect here, using overtake, rich, everything we've got, going on the inside again to take the inner line and overtake Magnussen. Thank you very much for that position again. And we had some clean air ahead. This is the replay here, just an easy overtake, standard textbook stuff, straight up the inside. Otherwise, it was a long drive trying to catch up with the next car ahead. Yeah, we are currently in P11. And now we are looking for some points. Of course, up ahead is Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri in P10. So we're hunting him down, chasing him down. Lap 15, I believe, and it's a 29 lap race, I think. We did 50% Australia. So we are now hunting for that position. Start finish straight, of course, an optimal place for rich and overtake, slipstream, punching it with everything we've got, trying to get close to Pierre Gasly. As you see, he's also running overtake, trying to push as hard as he can against us, but we dive in on the inside, mount the curve a little too much. I think we got an exceeding track limits warning there just for a brief bump up the mount, but that we can take. We're allowed 2 until the third one costs us a penalty. Just up the road again, Esteban Ocon has an engine failure, a mechanical failure. Just stops the car pretty much, and he parks his car right at the pit exit, and you can see yellow flags being shown. It is kind of a dangerous position to be parking your car, and I believe this triggers another safety car. Yes, it does. It triggers a safety car, and this gives us optimal time to pit. I believe we pit for another set of intermediates because I gambled that the weather was not going to dry up enough for the end of the race. So we dip into the pit lane for a new set of intermediates. I believe Lando Norris also did it in the McLaren. As you saw, the McLaren pit crew enjoyed their stay in the rain for a moment. But we got a good service from the team, approximately 2.8 seconds if my memory serves correct, so it was quite a successful stop. Of course, the safety car also slows down traffic, so it is a good opportunity to get a new set of wheels. You can see here we are now in line at the restart. We had a bit of a poor restart, getting some way away from that Haas of Grosjean, and now we are fighting back at everyone. Getting a little slipstream here on Grosjean. Of course, the favorite turn where we go on the inside and get the overtake done. Can we get 2 and 1? Just about. A little contact with Kimi Räikkönen, I believe, and we make the move stick, and Grosjean also gets a little taste of overtake there. And you can see here, this is why we are all of a sudden up in the top 4. Everyone just decided to pit later on. And the rain has stopped, but it's not dry enough for a dry compound of tire. But we gained, I believe, 8 positions. We went up from P12 to P4, or was it P14 to P4? I think it was P14 to P4. No, P14 to P12 after we overtake Räikkönen and Grosjean, and then we went up to P4 from there. A nice little overtake earlier on Lando Norris sees us up to P3 now, and now we're chasing Daniel Ricciardo, but something that you don't see is that Ricciardo actually has a 5-second time penalty. So this is kind of tasty. Of course, that would mean we are guaranteed P2 finish, but of course, you know me, I want the move done on the field. So I really pushed the car to its limit here, trying to push as hard as I could. I think the last lap here was time for the dry compound of tire, but it didn't matter because we were almost through anyway, and this was the checkered flag. We ended right behind Daniel Ricciardo, but we see ourselves up to P2. It was a valiant drive. I wasn't expecting it. Actually, I was expecting a dry weather run here, and you can see here a rare footage of the cockpit as we celebrate a P2 drive. Starting at P12, dropping down to P20, and then finding our way up to P2. That just screams Sergio Perez from Bahrain. Anyway, here are the results. Albon in first, we are in second as Sergio Perez, and then Daniel Ricciardo in third. Lando Norris, Gasly, Bottas, Verstappen, Leclerc, Kvyat, and Hamilton round out the rest of the points positions. You also saw Daniel Ricciardo with his 5-second time penalty. Stroll, Vettel, Magnussen, Raikkonen, Russell, Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Latifi, Ocon, and Sainz round out the rest, with Ocon and Sainz not finishing the race. It's quite a colorful lineup at the end of the Australian Grand Prix. And the more interesting thing is, of course, after the wing damage at the start of the race, we actually did 4 pit stops, or rather I should say 3 pit stops. We moved from wet to wet, wet to intermediate, intermediate to intermediate, and we still beat like 90% of the grid. Well, yeah, of course, we came P2. So that was quite an interesting race. I did enjoy it a lot. You can see here also the 5-second time penalties that people got. A collision with Vettel caused Ocon to get a 5-second time penalty early on. And then also Daniel Ricciardo got a 5-second time penalty for severe collision with Vettel later on. I couldn't find the footage for that, but it's written there in the directory. So, yeah, that got lucky. We got lucky with a 5-second time penalty for Daniel Ricciardo, and we got P2. Well, I mean, I couldn't have a better training drive, actually. Like, this was just me playing a game, and then I decided to record the highlights of it. That's why you don't see any of the MFD items from a normal drive, like when I drive live. This was all from the replay reel, and I must say it was quite a fun drive. I got a dry setup. I was expecting a dry circuit drive, but it started pouring, so I bumped up the front wing. Originally, the setup called for 2.9 wings, but I bumped up the front wing to 5, so we had 5.9 wings, and the rest were as usual. So I'm quite surprised with this result. I mean, by the time this goes up, the My Team video is probably up as well. So this was actually training for that season opener in Australia, and I wanted to see how fast I was now that we had 7 full seasons of practice under our belts, and yeah, we finally made a change where Australia is a place where we made points, not only points but podium as well. So yeah, I want to show you guys this video because this footage is quite impressive. I think it was a lot of fun going from pouring rain to intermediates and all that. It was quite a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do let me know in the comment section down below if you want more videos like this, me commentating over it. I would be happy to provide you with that. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe using the red button down below, and hit the notification bell as well so you're notified when the next video goes live. As always, I hope you're doing well, and as always, please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next video of mine. Take care until then.